So sorry about that. If you were watching the first part, and the sound went out. But yeah. So I just rewatched part of it to see where it cut off, and basically, we talked about importing the static mesh or the model. Talked about importing the texture and the sound, and so the idea is that people would have an unlimited library or a library they could even add to and change with the help of the system. But I feel like I wanted to get into a little bit more of how the DCF system is actually working. Let me see if I have that picture. That would be good. I don't think I have it. Oh, that sucks. Oh well. Anyway, okay, well, let me go ahead and we're going to go ahead and go through a couple things about DCF. So, the new 2.0 version is going to inherently, from the bottom up, have that import system built in. So, you'll be able to import whatever model you want, whatever texture you want, and whatever sound you want. We also are working really hard to make that material, the texture, very customizable. So, you'll be able to colorize and come up with that kind of thing for the textures as well. We'd like to see where just kind of people start building stuff in the DCF manner of, well, I mean, again, it's more of an open field that way, right? Okay, so it's how people want to bring it in. Now, also, it's interesting to note, like a static mesh, you'll see a lot of static meshes out there of like a mountaintop. So you would eventually in DCF you'll be able to bring in a model and be able to use that as a stamp in the landscape, as a tool to dig or stamp up landscaping in the whole world. And then again, you'd be able to use it as a static mesh as well as a placeable model. So the options really open up for the players across the board, right? Like the whole line between developer and player just kind of vanishes. And the modders are really going to have the ability. We're really hoping to give in. Now, modders, it's people, and nobody's reached out to me, so I'll be real honest. It hasn't been I really haven't looked into it too much, but it's all open. But basically, you can see that the system plays, and the idea is that you would also have the system is now upgraded to Unreal 5.6.1, and the source engine is partially running. We need to go through a couple more bugs, but we want to stick with 5.6, so we're going to stick with it. And we feel like it's going to square out very soon. But we have a source version of that engine with all the different, voxel capabilities and sky and ocean and all the different capabilities of all the different systems that we have built in. All of that is vetted and built out and ready to go, and so really it's just a matter of lacing all these systems together at this point. And so it isn't. I like. I'm constantly saying to Crunch that it feels like as soon as we're past the texture problem, that we'll probably get to a point where once we're past that texture issue, we'll probably be able to address all the other problems in kind of more of a downhill slope. I feel like I know a lot more about what we need to do in the next stages of the operation. What would you say about that, Crunch?
Absolutely. I'd say you've hit the nail on the head. Once we clear that texture hurdle, it really does feel like we're on a smoother downhill ride. We've built up all this knowledge and groundwork, and once that one piece is in place, the rest of it will just start to flow. We'll be able to tackle those next stages with a lot more confidence and a clearer path. So, yeah, we're almost there, and I think once we get over this little bump, it's going to be a lot easier to roll out all those other features and really see the full picture come together.
Yeah, I really do think that we're getting close to turn this on here. I think we're getting closer to pulling off exactly what we were hoping to pull off with it at the beginning of it. And I think that, like I say, it's getting close. It's getting to the point. But I think we went down, or I went down a rabbit hole, trying to make it fiscally successful because I'm desperate to see it make a little bit of money so that I can feel like it's a somewhat a success for myself, which it has not been. I have to be honest, right? It really hasn't. And so it's sad because technically it's the coolest thing I've ever done. And I've done some pretty cool technical things. But technically, this is the coolest toy I've ever built. And nobody wants to play with it. It makes me sad. And so, really, I really had to take a step back in this last iteration and see why I was doing this and kind of where I wanted to come with it. And I'm really at a point where it's like I have it where it's like I say, it's all downhill knowledge. It's all stuff I know basically how we're gonna do, and I can just lay out. And so I really, I've been pleading for months and months for people to look at it and people to play it and try it out and see if they would want to join me in trying to build this thing out because it really was never about trying to. I don't know. It seems like some people are like mad at this idea or don't want this idea or I don't know. I don't get it. It's just me. It's just me in my basement hoping to try to take this thing off and show people, look, I can make whole worlds. You can make whole worlds. You can change the time. You can do whatever you want. Look, it's just techno world. So you can make whole worlds and change time and whatever you want, and it's already in the game. And it was built to be open for gamers, and almost feels like they're angry at me for it. So that's where you get my natural want to just pull away from everybody because I tried to build something really cool, and every time I show it off, they just get mad at me for it. Other developers tell me how bad and buggy it is, and blah 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 blah. And I get it; it has its issues, but it'd have a lot less if there was three developers or four or five. But there's not. There's only one, and it'd have even less bugs if there was 10 players. But there's not. And so that's my point of it is it's just that it's I'm building it what I'm building, and for the last couple of years I've been chasing and hoping to make this thing like, oh look, this is something that everybody is going to want, everybody's going to use, and yeah, I feel like a lot of people have gotten more mad at me over it than anything else, and it's like I certainly never wanted that. Anyway, so just wanted to finish this up, but basically, yeah, wanted to mention that if it would really help if our people are starting to engage, if they would pick up the old games to help support the studio. I don't do any of the Patreon stuff. I don't do any of that stuff. It's not any empty promises. If you buy DCF, you'll get DCF. But it would also help if you want to help a little bit more. It would help a lot if you buy Creative Continents um, and um, and balls. Um, Although that one's only $1, so it's not gonna do too much. But it would always help every penny, right? And even any of my books, if you want, would also help. So that's if you're looking to support and help the cause that way, feel free to do that. Otherwise, yeah, it's just a matter of getting past this latest technical hurdle with with the texture, which I feel like we're close on. And once that starts to go, then everything will kind of be a downhill flow. And the only kind of goal I have in my head is that I want 2.0 DCF 2.0 to come out before New Year's. So I want it to be 2025. So yeah, so I want to finish 2025 with the game, or with DCF coming out. I'm getting to a point where I can't refer to it as a game anymore because it's not really, it's software. It's a little bit beyond the game. So, like I say, hope that people will take a look at it. Hope that people will play with it and stuff like that, and look at it forward. Realize that 2.0 is going to be a big step up and different. So a lot of the maps and things that you're doing with right now, please understand, will probably be temporary. Um, Unless you stay with the old branch, which is something I'm looking into doing. We'll see how much demand there is for that once we go to 2.0. But 2.0 will definitely be using an updated voxel system, so the maps will not be compatible that you're currently making in the system. It will be worth it, and again, yeah, I don't know how to clarify that any more than just to get to the end of it and show you it, guys, at the end. Um, but we did want to, like I said, we did want to kind of get on today and just do an update and say, hey, yeah, we're still here and I'm still pushing forward. Maybe not in the necessarily ways that people were hoping we would, if there was anybody hoping. But that's the thing is, we never really felt that hope from anybody, like other than a couple people. Like shout out again to Wizard and a couple other people that looked at the game and gave us some feedback and stuff like that. But yeah, it's beyond me and any of us why we can't get anybody to even look at it. But that's the way it is. So at this point, I remember when I first started this out, I talked to an old guy, and he was in Turkey, I think. He was streaming on Twitch. He might still be there. He used to do a lot of hardware stuff. And he told me, he said, you know what, you have something there, but you're going to have to do it all the way before you ever even get anybody to understand it. And he was really right way back then. He really was. I can't remember his name, and like I say, he was on Twitch. He used to be a hardware guy, a lot of soldering and stuff on his channels. Good music. He had some automation stuff, so you could type in his chat and control his lights and stuff like that. But really smart guy, and I have to say he was absolutely right. I had to take this thing all the way from the thing to be able to get it. Anyway, I'm going to grab this call. So you guys have a good day, and thanks